Well, that was a little bit better, I think. This programme, incidentally, Rouser Radio, is for the eccentric and the esoteric. There's nothing normal about us, not either radio or television. And if you want a little bit of something different, a little bit of interest, come to us. Come to us, my darlings, and we'll see what we can do for you. There's a fine touch of madness about everything we do in broadcasting, but we've been around for a long time, and we've seen it all, and we've seen the dull stuff, and we've seen the new stuff, and we've seen the various raps and boogies and all the rest of it. So we do our own thing, and we hope that there are one or two out there who perhaps enjoy doing the same thing, a little bit different. So the music you hear on here is not going to be top 40. Believe me, it is not going to be top 40. But some of it is very good, and mostly both unknown composers. And some of their stuff is very good. Occasionally you get somebody who has hit the wrong note, but generally speaking, it's okay. Right, now I'm afraid that it looks as if the coronavirus thing is going to create all sorts of hell again, because the dispute over schools has broken out, and the government is saying the schools will open come what may, never mind what may happen. And of course the unions are opposing that and saying our members aren't going back into anything dangerous. Very difficult situation. I'm not quite sure whose side I'm on this one. But I was talking to my co-host, I say co-host because she hasn't appeared yet, but she will soon, Annie Vero, who's got 2 young children, and she says, yes, she wants the kids to go back, but like all mums, she's a bit cautious, and rightly so. She's a bit cautious, and I'm glad that she is, because the one thing you don't want is for your children to catch this dreadful thing. Okay, the young are fighting it much better than the old. I personally, because I've got Parkinson's, have decided that what I take for Parkinson's, what's good for Parkinson's, is good for the virus, and that is fill your veins full of alcohol, and all the bugs forget you. See, sometimes you can't walk very well as a result of that medicine, but then Parkinson's, you can't walk very well anyway, so what have I got to lose? Oh, back to Harvey's, a good old pint of wallop. Now, where are we this morning? Let's see, we're 19 minutes into a half-hour programme, so perhaps what we'd better do is we better try and keep you with us, and this one called The Golden Present. Let's see what The Golden Present has to offer. Well, it's a bit sombre, isn't it? But it's rather lovely. I've just noticed that there's 16 whole minutes of it. I don't think that we can possibly put up with that this morning. So the Golden Present will have to be parked just for the moment. Yes, where are we? Right, okay. I'm pausing for a moment simply because the old grey cells are marching along. And I think there are a number of things that we need to think about outside the issue of virus. And one of the problems, I think, that has cropping up is because of lockdown. Those people who had to go to work and were able to use their own car got used to the fact is there were two things missing on the roads. One was other traffic, and the other were the coppers. All right, well, without coppers, that good old common sense that the Prime Minister keeps on talking about goes out through the window. So people got used to going quite fast, particularly in built-up areas. And now, of course, they can't lose the habit. And the traffic going through our town, Lewis, is phenomenal. I mean, it just doesn't slow down. And that's fine, I suppose, if you want to cross the road. And you have to look both ways, run like hell, and you might just make it to the other side. But the funny thing is, we were talking to our American colleague the other day, and she said something about jaywalking. And one of my friends who has not been abroad said, well, what's jaywalking? And she explained that if you cross between blocks, the end of a block or a junction, in the United States, in most states and most cities, is that you'll be given a ticket because you're only allowed to cross at intersections. And so, my day it was $5. I bet you now it must be about $50 with inflation. But he was highly amused because how can you not cross the road where you just want to? We just have that freedom here, but the Americans are tied down to not crossing in the middle of a block and getting a ticket for it if they're caught doing it. So that's what jaywalking is, in case any of you have heard the term and don't know exactly what it is. It's crossing crossing the road illegally as a pedestrian. But why was I telling you that? Oh yes, because some drivers are really not paying attention to the rules. They're speeding. The police still have a lot to do as far as virus is concerned, so the policing is lax. And the situation really, unless people do use their common sense, is going to lead to accidents, which it seems to have done. There's quite a rash after we were allowed out onto the roads to drive for any old reason. So a bit of a caution from the old Rouser Radio is drive carefully, drive slowly, observe the rules. Oh gosh, how dull and boring, you may say. Well, there are some things where we break the rules heavily. There are others, if it's lives at risk, we're a bit careful down here. We don't leave banana peels around, for instance. Well, they do, but only because I'm the boss and they like to see whether in fact they can break my neck without getting blamed for it. But do follow the rules as carefully as you possibly can, because we really need rule of law. And rule of law is something that's going out of the window. I spent a lot of time in Kosovo, and one of my political friends there put a little notice and said the other day, rule of law is breaking down in Kosovo. And the Prime Minister, who will not allow at the moment a trial for basically terrorism and for murder during the war there, which was pre-2000, he refuses to sanction the people who would have been his cohorts because they were the freedom fighters, as it were. Go ahead. And one has a sympathy as if you fought hard to get your country free, that you're going to be thrown into the jug for the acts that you did during that period. But when you become a country, freedom means rule of law. It doesn't mean you can do anything you want. So I really am with those people calling for either the Prime Minister to resign or to back down and allow these trials to go ahead. And I had a lot to do with the army, the KPC as they were known, and I had a lot to do with the police while I was there. And there was every effort being made to bring it back into some sort of a modern life. They had a wonderful ambassador here to the Court of St. James, Mohammed Hamiti, a terrific guy. Behar Zagyani is a member of our television team now, and he was a very daring journalist in his time. So there are people there who are concerned about this sort of thing. And, okay, that's getting a bit serious, isn't it? And talking about another country. Most of you have no concept of what it's like. But it's a community that is a great community. There's some wonderful people. And the sooner they return to rule of law, and the sooner we return to rule of law for that matter, the better, because it's the only way a civilized society can go forward and enjoy itself. I was thinking of playing you another track, but, shall I? Well, why don't we just do a quick one, Happy Six, because we're almost out of time. Happy 6th and a happy 2nd of July. Where has the year gone? Oh, dearie, dearie me. But anyway, our time is up. It's Keith Hayes with Rouser Radio, coming out of Lewes in East Sussex. I hope that you'll get used to us. I hope if you listen to us, you'll tell your pals. If you want a bit of fun and a bit of an eccentric time, then we're the place to come to. Ta-ra!